Thanks again for dropping by my channel. Thank you so much for joining me throughout this year. And today we have a very special video. It is not about one movie. It might be about 10 or maybe more, who knows. Today we're gonna be doing my top 10. But before we get to number 10, I'm gonna go through 5 beneath it, which I'm not even gonna call them honorable mentions. We'll just say top 15. Is that okay? As I was making my top 10 list, I just listed a bunch of movies that I thought should be in there, and I realized I can't fit all of them into a top 10, and they just have to be on this list. These are my favorite films of the year. And I should note that, of course, this is a list that is subjective. I've seen each of these films just once, so of course my opinion can change. But for right now, here we go. Coming in at number 15 is a film directed by Louis Garrel and stars Noémie Merlan, as well as him and of course other lovely actors, and that is the French comedy called The Innocent.
Ah, mais oui! Ah, mais ça y est! Non, mais parce que je vous ai jamais vu en vrai, mais oui, 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 oui.
It is a wonderful French comedy that dabbles in both crime and romance, and all of the connections of the relationships of these characters in between and what is happening between them. It's one of those few films that made me laugh at the theater this year and really just had me engaged from start to finish, and had lovely performances, very funny, very engaging. I highly recommend it. It's an awesome time. Coming in at number 14 is a film that seems to already have been deemed a new Christmas classic. That is Alexander Payne's The Holdovers.
I can't fail this class.
Oh, don't sell yourself short, Mr. Coates. I truly believe that you can.
It stars Paul Giamatti, and it is this endearing, touching, and funny 70s boarding school drama. It will make you feel that cold of the snowy landscapes of Massachusetts and the isolation of it during Christmas break, while also warming your heart and making you just want to cozy up next to the fire with a hot cocoa, a chocolate, a tea, and just cozy up. Coming at 13 is a film that I've reviewed, and that is Killers of the Flower Moon.
You know, you got nice color skin. What color would you say that is?
My color.
Martin Scorsese has yet again created another masterpiece and has another one under his belt. And you know what? I thought it was deep, trapping. I was engaged from beginning to end. It has amazing performances, wonderful cinematography, and really doesn't lose me throughout its runtime. It isn't my favorite Martin Scorsese film as it stands right now, but it's definitely one of the best films of the year. Coming in at number 12 is a film that I also have reviewed, and that film is A Fire.
Kommst du nicht mit?
Nein, wirklich, die Arbeit lässt es nicht zu.
Schade.
It's a small German drama that is funny in its own ways that kind of crept on me like the forest fire in its film. It's beautifully shot, very well acted, and moved me in ways that many other films just can't. Coming in at number 11, another film that I've already reviewed. That movie is The Killer.
I find music a useful distraction. A focus tool.
It was one of the most fun times I've had at the cinema this year. David Fincher makes one of his most Finchy films that he has made to date. You can argue whether or not it's a comment on his career or not, but it gripped me throughout. It had some delicious black humor sprinkled in throughout, as well as one of the grisliest fight scenes I've ever seen in a movie. Finally, we're getting to number 10.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to take a quick pause to do some honorable mentions just because there were so many great films this year, and honestly, just some of these titles here either slipped my mind or I couldn't figure out a way or where to put them into the top 10 or top 15, and so here they are. May December, Chile 76, Past Lives, Talk to Me, Barbie, Napoleon, and Blackberry. Now let's get back to the video.
My number 10 spot is brought to you by Ari Aster. That film is Beau is Afraid. I love Ari Aster. I loved his first 2 films, and this did not disappoint me, although it was quite different. His imagination is wild and twisted, and that being paired with a quite big budget and a nervous, terrified Joaquin Phoenix performance smashes together to create one of the craziest and most bizarre things I saw in a movie this year. Coming in at my number 9 spot is a film that I haven't talked about, and that film is Theater Camp.
Because tear sticks,
are doping for actors. Do you want to be the Lance Armstrong of theater?
I laughed so damn much, and I believe I even cried. Molly Gordon and Nick Lieberman brought the joys of theater to the screen in a hilarious way. It's a film that had me filled to the brim with joy, and I had an amazing time watching it. If you haven't seen it, you must. Coming up at number 8 spot is another crazy edition that's brought to us by Yorgos Lanthimos, and that film is Poor Things. Poor Things is just crazy. It's absurd and surreal while commenting on our society and still being just absolutely hilarious and strange and bonkers. The production design and the cinematography and the costume design are all beautiful. It has some amazing performances in it and the whole cast is on fire. Of course, Willem Dafoe bringing his all, but the standouts were definitely both Mark Ruffalo, who is hilarious, and then the centerpiece, Emma Stone. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Coming in at number 7 spot is a film that had me thinking for a while after the fact, and that film was brought to us by Hayao Miyazaki, and that is The Boy and the Heron. This film is, of course, beautifully animated, but it comments on Hayao Miyazaki's life, and if it is his last film, it is a wonderful way to say farewell, and I think it really must be seen. It seems to be having some success, which makes me incredibly happy. The film is gorgeous, it is thoughtful, and it makes you think, how do I live my life? What is important in life? And what's important in this strange world that we do live in. Coming in at number 6 is a film that I've already talked about, and that film is brought to us by Christopher Nolan. This film came to the theater with a bang, paired with Barbie, making Barbenheimer. It was an amazing time at the cinema. It has a 3-hour runtime, but it flew by at the cinema. The IMAX experience was incredible. Everyone involved was at the top of their game. And
Cillian Murphy.
well, he's probably gonna get an Oscar for this, let's be honest. And maybe Christopher Nolan too, who knows? It was one of the best and most entertaining times at the cinema that I've had this year. And if you haven't seen it for some reason, well, go check it out. Coming in at my number 5 spot is the movie Anatomy of a Fall.
I did not kill him.
That's not the point.
It's brought to us by Justine
Trier.
and is a film that when I watched it initially didn't necessarily have me feeling that this is going to be one of my favorite films of the year. I walked out of it thinking, well, that was really good. It was well made. However, I must say it is so well written, and the way it ends and what it does to interrogate you, the viewer, and make you ask questions about it, make you make your own conclusions about both what happens in the film and how that applies to our world at large. It is a fantastic film with great performances. Go see it. Coming up at number 4 might have a little bit of recency bias here, but it's brought to us by Sean Durkin, stars Zac Efron, and that film is The Iron Claw. The Iron Claw was an A24 film, and it knocked me off my feet. It had me crying like a baby, and I was just with these wrestling brothers and this tragic story about the Von Erich family. If you don't know it, don't spoil it for yourself. Just go see the movie. I recommend you go see it. It is so beautifully shot, wonderfully acted. Zac Efron is just, I hope he gets nominated. I really do. Go check out The Iron Claw. Coming in at my number 3 spot is a film that I have not talked about, and I'll just say it. It's called The Beasts, or Asbestas.
Porque esta es mi casa.
This is a Spanish/French production, I believe, and it's one of the most thrilling, suspenseful, and in certain ways terrifying films I've seen this year. It was directed by Rodrigo Sorogoyen and has some amazing performance, and actually has the gentleman from Inglourious Basterds. The opening scene, the farmer from the opening scene in Inglourious Basterds, is the star, the main protagonist of this film, but everybody in it is fantastic, and it is just gripping. And there's one scene in particular that is just disturbing. Not in a gross kind of a way, but the way something transpires makes you just feel your guts are turning on the inside. If you haven't seen it, go find it. I'm sure you can probably rent it on video on demand. It actually might be streaming somewhere. Check out The Beasts. Coming in at number 2 spot is a film that I recently reviewed, so I won't give too much time to it, but that is Maestro. Bradley Cooper, you're a beast. What can I say? You are an amazing performer and a great director, and I was picked up and brought on a journey with this film, and it made me feel so deeply and cry so hard. It hit me in the right way. It was just beautifully crafted. It's on Netflix now. Go watch it. Coming in at my number 1 spot, can I get a drum roll? That film is The 8 Mountains.
Cosa voleva farci? Una casa. Una casa. Ha voluto costruire una casa qua.
Now, this is a film I've reviewed on my channel, and if you saw the review, I loved this film. I gushed about it. It's about 2 friends over the course of decades of time in Italy, and specifically in the Alps, in the mountains, and it is so beautifully constructed, beautifully shot. It has amazing performances at the center of it, telling this deeply touching story. It is amazing, and I actually have it right back here, y'all. Maybe I'll just go watch it right now. It's on the Criterion Collection if you want to check it out. Otherwise, you can go rent it, go watch it. But hey, all of these films have wonderful things to offer, and I've seen tons of other movies this year that were worth watching, that were deeply entertaining. This is my opinion. These are my favorites right now in this moment as I'm recording this video, but it can always change. And you know what? Each and every one of these, maybe my number 15 or maybe number 20 will be your number 1. Go check these movies out. They're all great. I recommend all of them. Doesn't matter the order. Just go watch them. Make your own opinion, and this was a great year for cinema, and I hope we can have another great year of cinema here in 2024. So Happy New Year. Thank you so much for coming by and checking out my channel and putting like, and those of you who subscribe. Let me know, everybody who's watching this right now, in the comments below, what's your top 10 or top 5 or top 15? What were your favorite movies of 2023? Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'll see you in the next video.